We're moving on to our third and final topic. Quinn, this is your topic.
Yeah. Okay. So I got.
Now it's about to get real.
Yeah. I'm about to drop the hot question.
Oh, I thought that was my pen, and I was gonna drop it. I'm like,
So my question is, what are some of your guys' favorite weapons from video games?
Okay. All right.
Did you want me to go first, or did
It's
you
your
guys wanna
topic.
go?
Whatever. Who do you want to start?
I guess I'll lead off,
Okay.
get my
Alright.
stuff out of the way.
All right.
So I have 3. I just chose 3 because I thought 3 would be a good number.
I have 3 as well.
Okay.
I have 3 as well.
Awesome.
We didn't even
There we
plan
go.
that.
We are all set. So it's not in like my list for top ranking. It's just random
Just
ones.
3 weapons. Yeah, that's what I have too. It's just 3 weapons that I enjoy to use.
Same.
So my first is the Killing Edge from Fire Emblem series, and what the Killing Edge is,
That's
it's
not Bravely Default.
no,
Okay,
it's
that's
not.
the one that has.
It's
the
the
permadeath.
tactical
Got it.
RPG, grid-based chess game,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
And what the Killing Edge is it's just a regular sword. It's like a Japanese katana, but it's a weapon with high crit chance. And the reason why I like this, because there's a killing weapon for every other sort of thing. So there's like a killer spear, there's a killer axe and stuff like that. But the reason I like the Killing Edge the most is because swords generally have the most balanced accuracy out of all the weapons. And also because the first time I used it was, I didn't really get into Fire Emblem till much later in the series, until Awakening. And when I first played Awakening, I hated that game. That's the first one for the 3DS. I absolutely hated that game. I got to chapter like 12 or something, around the time where Lucina and Crom, he's like, "You're Marth," and she's like, "Actually, I'm..."
Oh.
Well, actually, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it because she's in Smash and all that.
Okay.
But she's like, "I'm actually a girl and your daughter," and he's like, "What?
Still doing this?
Yeah, he's like, what do you mean? You have blue hair and stuff?" And she's like, "Yeah, and check out my eye." And then she has the brand, which is like the same thing that Crom has on his arm. And that shows like their lineage. And I got to that part and I was like, okay. And holy crap, let me tell you actually real quick about the cutscene in that. When it zooms in on her face, holy crap, is it really realistic? Like, it is, her face is like, she was real. She's not like some anime
It's
chick.
3D.
Like, I would have to show you how real it looks because it's so strange to see also on like a 3DS too.
Well,
And
Monster Hunter runs 60 frames, so.
that is true, but it looks like more realistic than that.
Yeah.
Like, it looks, I don't know how to explain it. I'd have to show you. And I started playing more and more, and I still didn't really like it. I don't remember
It really opens up 40 hours in.
I didn't. Oh no, this game I beat in 25 hours.
Oh, gee. Well, it's a handheld, so I guess.
But I was like, I don't know what got me to like it, but for some odd reason, like, over some course of time, I was like, actually, this is pretty cool. So I started liking it. And there's this one character in the game. So the reason I played the game, first off, just quick, is because Tharja. She's one of my favorite designed characters in all video games. She's like this dark mage character. And I saw this music video that had a picture of her on it. And I was like, I didn't want to play Fire Emblem or anything until I saw that picture. And I was like, all right, I'm playing it. And I played the game up to the point that I got her. And I was like, now I can enjoy the game.
It was all getting through the weeds in this one.
She's still my favorite character even after I played Fates and some other games. Like in Heroes, I still have her. She's my main unit in that game. She's really cool. Still like her. But
She's his main.
Yeah.
Main
Oh, yeah.
squeeze,
Yeah,
right?
main squeeze,
I
yeah.
mean, Hanzo. Yeah.
But one of the coolest characters in the game in Awakening is Lonku, and he's like this Asian swordsman. And the first weapon he starts off with is a Killing Edge. And it's really cool because he's voiced by Travis Willingham, who voiced, if you played League of Legends, he's voiced Talon. If you've played, I already talked a little about in Full Metal Alchemist, he's Roy Mustang.
Okay.
He's played tons of other characters I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. And so he has a really cool like deep voice. And when you crit in Fire Emblem, you get a little cut in, sort of like in Persona. But in Awakening, it's a lot cooler because in Fates it's newer. It kind of looks cool, but it's not as cool in Awakening, in my opinion, just because in Awakening it's like a high res cut in, like the actual art is at a higher resolution and the lighting is slightly different, and also they do a different face than they would normally make in their portrait. Whereas Fates, they didn't. I don't think they had the ability to do that because they had a lot more characters in Fates because it's 3 games, and there's different characters on each path. And Awakening is just, of course, 1 game, and they thought it would be their last game, so they tried making everything as good as they could possibly do. And so when you trigger a crit, you get the little cut in, and they say their little like quote or whatever, and it's one of the coolest things to do because with the Killing Edge, it's a 30% chance to crit. And so whenever he comes in and he does this thing, and then the game pauses for a little bit, and you see the cut in come in, and you hear him going like, "No hard feelings" or something like that, or he's like, "Be silent" or something. He just says something cool. And then he goes in and you see the crit damage because it's like it goes critical and that's like 99. It's one of the coolest things in the world. Also, crits have a different evasion factor than normal hits. So if you get a crit on an attack you normally miss, it's also the best feeling in the world too. So the other weapon I have is kind of like a similar feeling of why I like it so much is the Vorpal Blade from Golden Sun. I don't know how many of you guys have played Golden Sun.
So many words like tied to each other.
So Golden Sun is
the Vorpal Blade from what Sun?
Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
So Golden Sun is a game by Camelot, which is like a sub thing of Nintendo, I believe. And if you haven't played it, they're Game Boy Advance games. People regard them as some of the best Game Boy Advance RPGs that have come out, or that will always be. The one on the DS was kind of a letdown, to be honest. But the Vorpal Blade, if you're familiar with Alice in Wonderland, the poem or whatever, short story or whatever, I believe it's Alice in Wonderland. She fights off the like jigger-de-jurger-diddle-daggle, whatever the random, like, I forget what the thing is called. It's just a jumble.
The Jabberwocky?
Yeah, the Jabberwocky or whatever. Yeah. And she uses a Vorpal Blade. That's her weapon that she uses. Okay. And so
so your favorite blade is from Alice in Wonderland?
No.
Okay.
But that's what it comes from, the origins of it. And you get it in Golden Sun just from like a random cave you go through, and it was the first unique item I found, rather than like a regular sword or anything. And at that point in time, when I first played Golden Sun, I wasn't used to like seeing cut-ins or special like animations for things. And when you use the Vorpal Blade, it has a percentage. It doesn't show the percentage, but it has like a percentage chance to trigger its special ability, and it goes like the Vorpal Blade is unleashing a howl or something. And so when you swing, you shoot like tornadoes from your sword and you attack the enemy. And by the way, if you haven't seen the graphics for Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance, holy crap. If anything that they're good at doing for like Camelot in terms of like graphics, it's making their games look pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And so when I first saw that, and also Golden Sun has one of the best battle themes of all time. Like if people don't know a lot about Golden Sun, but when they hear that battle theme, like that battle theme has a lot of views in comparison to like anything else. So when they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, Golden Sun, or they're just like, this is kick ass or whatever. So that's just a really cool thing.
I like how you were totally censoring yourself, and then he goes on right there. I said TV-14. It's fine. TV-14. You're good. You're good. You're good.
And then my third is for also another series that actually I don't know. I'm pretty sure in the state that we live in.
Yeah.
The amount of people that know of this game is probably under 10,000.
Okay.
And that is not an exaggeration, I don't think. And it's called Boktai. Okay. And it's a Hideo Kojima game. Oh, yeah. And it was for Game Boy Advance. And
he made a Game Boy Advance game?
Yeah.
The guy made Metal Gear?
Yeah, it has stealth mechanics too. Like you can knock on walls and attract enemies and stuff like that. And it has, so the reason it didn't sell well is it has a weather functionality. So there's a solar sensor on the bottom of your game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
and the sun shines on it and it affects the weather in the game. The amount of like the sun and the heat.
Yeah, the cartridge has a solar panel on it. So you have to go outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it also charges your gun because
curse you, Nintendo, for making me go outside.
And the gun is called Gun Day Sol, which means guns of the sun, I believe translates to.
Yep.
To use the gun, you have to go and charge it with the sun.
Yeah. And
wow.
Like, because you're a vampire hunter.
What if you? Okay, so you're saying because we live in Washington, that since it's
well, no,
rainy
I
and
wasn't trying to
cloudy.
say that in Washington, but I mean, like, overall, in terms of people all over the world, I was just trying to relate it to Washington as a number.
Got
That not a lot of people would have if they know about it, but also haven't played it either.
it. Yeah.
Which that game is great because the fact that he was like, there's a solar-powered vampire hunter is so crazy in my mind. I was like, why
That's a
wouldn't
lot to take in.
Yeah, but it's also Hideo Kojima we're talking
Yeah.
about here.
Yeah.
Like, that
And the
doesn't
music-
surprise me he would come up with that.
And the music is like a spaghetti western. And when you beat the bosses, you trap them in a coffin and you have to drag them back to this. It's a solar pile driver thing. And you put them in the circle. And then you have a second initiation in the boss fight too. And the game is so great.
So do you think, what is it?
Boktai?
No, Death Stranding. Do you think you'll have to carry your PlayStation 4 outside to try and get some solar beam?
No.
You have to cut yourself for blood to go into it to make the baby. What's his Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus. Yeah. Actually, the whole reason why it's solar powered in the first place, it wasn't for the DS version because the reason it was for the Game Boy Advance version was actually because it was more so thought of for not the SP but the regular Game Boy Advance where the screen wasn't backlit at all.
Okay.
So that you would be outside anyway or you'd need lighting in the first place.
Got it.
So if you're going to be outside or have some place with lighting, you'd already be charging up the solar power.
Okay.
Also, it factors in like when you play it at night, it is much harder. Like it affects difficulty and stuff like that. It's such a great game. I love it. And
It's interesting.
the daylight cycle changes in real time, so it's so cool. And like ice melts when it's hot. You have food that can spoil or turn into jerky with the amount of like sun and heat. Like it's so in depth for a Game Boy Advance game.
That is I've never heard of a game that did
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know it by name, but I have seen like how it looks with the little bar that pops out of the
it has
top
a little
and
thing.
yeah.
It's bigger than normal Game Boy
It's
Advance
like
games.
you know how like on a calculator they have that little solar thing. It has like one
Yeah.
of those on the top of the cartridge.
Okay. So any light could do it. You don't have to have the sun.
No, it has to be if you aren't using the sun, it has to be like a UV, like
Okay.
sort of
Like,
light.
you couldn't
So
use
you
these
can't use the
lights.
light bulb. You
Okay.
can't use the light bulb.
That sucks. So who's next?
I will choose.
I guess I can go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So for me, one of them is from a game that I primarily played. Well, I guess you can play all three of these games multiplayer, but one of them is I primarily use this weapon in the single player. But I'm gonna save that one for last. The first one I'm gonna go with is the classic Halo pistol.
Okay.
First Halo.
So the OP.
The OP pistol.
with a scope and everything.
Yes.
Got it.
Because this was back on the original Xbox, with the first Halo. I used to partake in with my friends in high school LAN parties where we would go into a room.
We talked about this on the.
Did we? Did we? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I don't remember.
We're
But, you
already
know,
4 episodes in. We have a back catalog.
And we would go and we'd have Halo parties every weekend, and most of the time we would all be using the pistol. And so it was just a big scoping pistol fest.
Have you ever done Sticks and Stones?
No
It's
idea.
like I think. Yeah, it's pistol and grenades.
No.
So-
We would have like everything turned on, but pretty much you would just use your pistol.
Got it.
Because that was just the best weapon to use. So we were all just running around using the pistol, and just the headshots and the jumping around and Warsong Gulch and peeking and getting the headshots like that. Though that was just a lot of fun for me. And I just remember that gun just being ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's really overpowered.
And so that's why I put it on the list. My next one is another one from multiplayer gameplay from GoldenEye, the RCP-90.
Did you play GoldenEye?
Not that much.
I
The
never played
RCP-90 was probably the gun that we would play with the most in multiplayer. Everybody would be like, "Oh, I want to use, put on the golden gun for the golden gun. One bullet, one shot." Like, no. We would always play with the weapon selection to automatics. And so the thing with automatics is they all use the same ammo, so you can pick up any of the ammo boxes anywhere. But it was but the RCP-90 was this 80 round like submachine gun. Has this very, it's like it was the GoldenEye's take on the P90 weapon. If you've ever seen
like
that,
Call of Duty.
yeah. So
like
like
Call of
how
Duty.
that looks with like that weird like stock and the clip that goes up the top that's like sideways. It was their take on that weapon, and that weapon was a monster. You would just spit bullets all over the place, and we would just get in. Because when you get hit, and because you have large health pools, you have, it's not a realistic health pool in GoldenEye. When you get hit with the gun, it kind of bounces your character back. So when you're shooting it does.
So when you're getting, like you're saying, you get shot with it, you're gonna go.
Yeah, you can get pushed along the ground. Yeah, as you're getting shot. And so we would just use it, and as we'd fight, it would be tough to fight each other with them because it was hard. Because we would have auto aim turned off. We wouldn't play with auto aim, so we would have to use the C buttons to aim. Because that kind of worked as like a second analog. And so it was tough to shoot at each other when we're kind of ping ponging all over the place. Yeah, I mean it was subtle. Like you wouldn't move very far, but the fact that it's spitting 80 rounds at you really fast, you're just kind of like
moving around.
Yeah,
got it.
And so that was always a lot of fun growing up. And then the last one for me is gonna probably be a gun that you guys probably don't know about.
It can't be any more elaborate than what he came up with.
Viewers will probably know it. I know it's been featured in other like top 10 weapon lists, on YouTube, and it's the cerebral bore from Turok 2.
I've always wanted to play Turok.
Turok 2 is one of my favorite first-person shooters on the N64. And this particular gun was this alien weapon, and what it was is it would take like 5 seconds, and it would lock onto the enemy's head, okay? And then they would shoot this little thing about like this big that would then attach to the head. And then there was a drill inside of it. And it would drill into the person's head. And you would see, and it was graphic, like you would see just stuff coming out of the, like it would attach here, and you would just see stuff coming out of here, like brains and blood and gut, not gut.
Oh,
but you know
those
what I mean?
N64 graphics too.
And
They're
they would just
chunks.
stand there. They would stand there and have like a seizure while this is happening. And then it would drill into their head, put a grenade in, and then blow their head up. And just watching that when you're, I was like 13 or 14,
okay.
was very entertaining.
I can only imagine.
But yeah, and it had this very distinctive sound too. It had like this like kind of noise when it's finding it, and then it had this really like nasty sounding drill, and it sounded like they put like a whole bunch of like bones and like meat in a blender and just like and then it goes boom.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very memorable weapon. Like once you've seen it and once you've used it, you will never forget it. It's so unique, and I just always loved using it.
Okay.
I mean, because we used to play a lot of Turok multiplayer. Turok multiplayer was also fantastic. It was everything. It's kind of hard because multiplayer on the 64 was tough because it was always overshadowed by like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and that's like the peak, the pinnacle. But Turok 2 multiplayer was really good, but we'd always ban the cerebral bore because it was a one-shot kill weapon.
Yeah,
you can get the lock on and get it off. You were guaranteed to kill.
So my weapons are not as like crazy as that is. One of them might be because you were shocked by what I said. I'm gonna start with in order of when I played the games. So Halo, it's gonna be the Needler. I think the Needler is the coolest gun. Now I'm basing them off of the coolest guns that I've seen, except the last one I'll say, because that one was purely off of. Yeah, I'll explain later. So the Needler from Halo is one of the coolest guns I've ever. Like when I got to see the Needler for the first time in Halo, and then in Halo 2, like you got to play as Arbiter, and that was just a gun you had. It was crazy because, I mean, think about it. These needles are like that long. And they're in this, and they heat sink you, and then all of a sudden they just stick them up, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's kind of the same thing with your Turok thing. It's when you're playing against friends and your friend was the jerk that had the needler.
Yeah,
and you're like,
"I know
well,
exactly."
I'm dead.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, stop using the needler. This is auto wing."
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
Um,
about.
But yeah, it was one of the coolest things. It's still one of the coolest guns I've ever seen. You know, the color design on it. You know, with the purple like needles and the blue look to it, and make it look with the Covenant. It's just a great combination of colors, and it just looks really cool. And then when you hold it, like now there's toys. Now that we were talking about like how there's like a Nerf kind of gun. It's not made by Nerf, but you know, when you hold it inside, and then it kind of over like takes your arm a little bit. And that's really cool. The second gun is from Gears of War, and it's got to be the Lancer. The Lancer is one of the dopest guns I've ever seen.
I think that's kind of been like has kind of become like an iconic Xbox.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
like,
now
kind of symbol.
And when you think of Gears of War, you think of the Lancer.
Yeah.
You think of
100%.
And if you don't know what the gun is, you know what it does. And this is the gun that literally you pull the chainsaw and that's it. He's now hamburger at this point. Gears of War brought a sense of violence to the game, but also in a sense of it's worth it. And when you can pull it off, you feel accomplished, because it's hard to do sometimes. If I was to go up to you and try to do it, but David's back here and he's on the enemy team, he could just annihilate me because I'm in animation, and as soon as I get animated, I'm dead. Or he could kill me halfway through. So whenever you got to pull off a chainsaw kill with a Lancer, you were normally very taunting, or it was very hard to do because the other person will be fighting back along with the other people with them. And then the third gun is just the regular pistol from BioShock Infinite. Like, I had that with me the whole time. You can only have 2 weapons, right?
You can only have 2 weapons equipped at one
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I had because every enemy almost drops all that ammo. There were you know what? I think I didn't. When I replayed it on PS3 on my personal channel before I was doing Primal Target, and I think I had the pistol the whole time. And the secondary weapon I would switch off with, like, I can't even remember the weapons.
I think for myself, I think I primarily used the pistol just because you kind of have to, because it's the ammo is the most abundant, and then I think I used like the shotgun as my secondary.
Yeah, well, and then in BioShock, like it's a little bit of a different story because you have all of the weapons, like you can carry everything. Right. But the wrench comes in handy more often than not because you just hit somebody in the head with it, or you have to hit something to get it open.
Yeah.
And so even in BioShock, like, I would use the wrench a lot, but in BioShock Infinite is definitely like the pistol or whatever, like, starting gun he gets that I held through the whole game because it comes in handy way more times than not. And I don't feel like, oh crap, I'm using valuable ammo right now.
Right.
You have abundant amount of handgun ammo as opposed to when it comes to the shotgun or whatever other guns there are in the game. I can't even remember.
There's like an assault rifle, but I never really used the assault rifle.
Yeah, because I think it was harder to find.
Yeah, I primarily just used the pistol and then the shotgun if I needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poker catch. That's all. That's all the weapons.
Yeah,
I just had those 3.
I'm gonna show you a clip of the cerebral bore after this. I just have to.
All right.
Look it up on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Or you can comment it in the comments like you did in the last video.
I love your comment, by the way. Your comment made me laugh so
I didn't knock over anything this episode, so I think it was an accomplishment.
I moved the table.
I didn't have to move because I didn't feel claustrophobic.
That's all good.
So,
it's okay.
Anyway, any closing statements? Nothing about this topic?
No, I'm
good?
all good.
You good? We're good?
Okay.
I'm good. It is the end of the month at this point. If you've watched them part by part, you have gotten to the end of the last episode. So it is now time to check in with what are we playing? What did we play in the month of March? Because the way we do this, we record them at the top of the month so that they're out throughout the rest of the month. So what have you been playing in March?
I've been playing a lot of this right now.
Mass Effect.
I've been playing a lot of the Mass Effects.
Okay.
I'm really liking it. I don't care what people say about it.
I've heard other than the little gripes and stuff, it's still a good game. Like, that's what everyone says.
The animations.
Have you seen the gorilla walk?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad
Yeah.
things about like animation wise.
Yeah,
but
like the animations don't kill it for me. Yeah, they're janky. I was talking to even just yesterday, I ran up to go talk to this NPC and my character momentum went by. So I started the conversation and went by the person I was talking to. No. I stopped.
Okay.
But I stopped like a few feet past the person.
Yeah.
And then whenever whenever Ryder
Yeah.
would talk to the person, her head would just yoink. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just was like, okay,
Oh no.
all right. Yeah. Your head would just do a complete 180 to talk to the person.
God.
You showed me that one clip of you kicking around the laptop in midair.
Oh, yeah.
That was-
Beacher's laptop. I'm pretty sure everybody can do that. I bumped into it and it just started floating away. And I was like, okay. But like I said, I even did another clip where one of the enemies like freezes up in a ball. I'll show you.
Like Samus?
No, he he's waiting for me, and then
I
he
picture an NPC like crunched up. Like,
well, like he's standing there waiting for me, and then he tries to come at me, and then something happens, and then his legs just all like bunch up together, and he's stuck. But like I can look past that. I understand that the scope of the game is large to the point to where I can look past that. It's like the Skyrim effect. That's what I'm gonna start calling it out. The Skyrim effect, where yeah, it's super. There's bugs all over the place, and it's not perfect. But the scope of the game is so big that I understand that that's gonna be an issue, and I can look past it. The people that are complaining, the fact that like the females are ugly is ridiculous. I'm like that's so wrong. That's the one
did you
that
see Mass Effect 1?
that's the one that I'm like that's the one I don't understand when people are like, oh, the females are so ugly, blah blah. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. I can understand complaining about the bugs, but complaining about how the characters like physically look is like, come on.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it. I've had it for almost a week. Actually, I've had it a week today, and I'm at like 35 hours, and I'm loving it.
Nice. What games have you been playing there, Quinn?
I've been playing Fire Emblem Awakening. I bought it
I
again.
thought you were gonna say the mobile game.
Well, I have been playing that one too, but I play that at work, and then I play Awakening when I get home, whenever I have the free chance. But I've been whipped around lately, so
Okay.
they've been controlling me. So, but I've been playing Awakening again, and I forgot how good some of the dialogue is in that game in comparison to like Birthright and Conquest. Just a lot of the character interactions are very humorous and great. So
Nice. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Zelda. I've been playing a lot of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I've been playing. Well, just see, this last month I started doing the Twitch thing, twitch.tv/Primal_Target. You can go follow there. I've been doing I played Harry Potter. Now, if you saw in the comment section below, you saw NATO Potato.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, shout out to NATO Potato. He's for the fact that he has a cool name. He also he's been on the journey with me.
Yeah.
I played Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone. Twitch forces me to say Philosopher's Stone, but we all know what the right one is. So I beat that and on Twitch. And it was so freaking hard because they don't tell you anything in that game. They're like, oh, the final boss, obviously, spoiler, is Voldemort. And so because of the end of the movie, it's exactly like the movie.
I thought it was Hermione.
Oh, well, you do have to go and save her from a troll. And Ron stands there and does nothing. Like, you... So the long running joke is now Ron doesn't do anything. But then I had to play, which led into playing Prisoner of Azkaban. Yes, I know that's the third game, but here's the problem: Chamber of Secrets doesn't work. It just doesn't want to read the disc. It looks different than all the other ones. It has a blue disc. You remember when the PlayStation 2 games? Some of them had blue discs. Mm-hmm. It's the only one that does that. Every other one looks regular. That one doesn't work. I don't know why. So I started playing Prisoner of Azkaban. I played about 3 hours into that, and it it's still you can actually play as all three of them. They all have different perks. Harry can run and jump over things. Ron can what can Ron do?
Stand there.
Nothing.
Yeah, stand there, do nothing. No, Ron does something special, but I know Hermione's is she can crawl. So that's Hermione's ability. And then the others, I did. So when I played Sorcerer's Stone, because when we did I posted the video about the greatest achievement. That was a pretty good achievement to beat Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, because literally the Twitch chat was helping me. I had no idea. I couldn't look it all up because all the stuff's running on Twitch. And so I was like, well, I can't look any of this up. And so they posted, I think it was NATO that actually did it. He posted he wasn't online yet. So I was like, I don't know how to do this. So then he gets online. He's like, he goes to GameFAQs, takes the thing, copies it, posts it in the chat. And I go, oh, that's how I was supposed to do it. And I beat him. It was so bad. It was a little embarrassing too, because someone was, this guy named Alex was hosting it.
Yeah.
And so like his audience was watching my stream. It was like, I had like 4 or 5 viewers. I was like, oh, that's about average. And then all of a sudden it jumped to like 20. And I was like, oh my God, I look so dumb. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But surprisingly, a lot of them stayed around. A few of them followed us, which is great. But yeah, that was at the top of the month. At the end of the month, after I got the Switch, I've been playing Zelda and biting at Isaac. And hopefully want to get back to doing the Twitch thing. Hopefully I have been doing the Twitch thing. Future Ryan, if you haven't, shame on you. That's what I've been doing. So
Cool.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well,
to
ladies
go.
and gentlemen, that is gonna bring it to the end. Hopefully, this is Ben Bitcade. See, when the thing goes, that's when it. Anyway, so we're gonna. This has been Bitcade. It has been a fun journey. This episode. It's the longest episode we've done. 2 hours of solid content. Wow, that's a lot. But hopefully you enjoyed it. The Twitch, the Switch one went a little bit longer than anticipated, but it's okay. Remember, all the episodes get split up throughout the month. Every single week, an episode of Bitcade is posted, and at the end of the month, the full episode is posted right here on YouTube. You can watch the full video in all of its entirety. Whew, good luck on that. And now, you can go over to twitch.tv/primal_target. Go follow us over there on Twitch. You can also subscribe to us right here on YouTube. Primal Target. We don't have the link. YouTube. Also Twitter, Primal_Target. We're on Facebook.com/Primal Target. And yeah. What else is there? I think that's it. That's all we have. You can follow me on Twitter. Ryan A. Moore. What is your Twitter handle?
I forgot.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't have one,
I don't
so
have one, so.
can't connect to him socially. On Xbox, I don't know. You want to share your Xbox thing? You want friends to play with you?
Maybe not yet.
Okay, all right. He doesn't trust you yet. You gotta put in the comments below.
You say,
Trust me,
add me,
David.
please.
Just say trust me. That's all you gotta say. And then the people that get to this part of the video will go, oh, I got it now. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, David. Thank you, Quinn.
Yep.
This is Bitcade. And we'll see you guys in the next video.